steady tripod is going to drive me nuts. So zoom in a little bit first. Maybe I'll start with...
What's the name of that cathedral? Do you know, Peter?
Christchurch Cathedral.
That's just the... okay.
Yeah, it's the Anglican Cathedral. So Aurelien, you've got a picture of Christchurch Cathedral there, which is the cathedral in the square, and which got badly damaged in the earthquake. Can you show us what you saw after the earthquake when you went to the town?
Well, we didn't have any access to all the cathedral square after the earthquake. What we saw, actually, we've been like 2 blocks away from this, and we just be able to walk on the street, and we just has been able to see through the streets that there were not, these parts were missing about this point, and that's all what you could see actually, and all the bricks on the floor downs and all the mess, because there were not only these things collapsed, lots of different stuff all around, so this actually you could see lots of damage, and we were pretty far from the cathedral square, so
the main steeple was
yes,
completely
like
down?
All these parts were missing.
About halfway down?
That's why it was really weird, because you see from actually you could see always from a few blocks away that when you have these streets and you can see the cathedral, you always at least see these parts of the cathedral through the other, on the top of the other buildings. And when we've been all around the city, this part were missing, and then that's how we managed to know that the cathedral had collapsed. And then we've been all around, and then when we arrived to at the end of Cashin Street, where on the Oxford Terrace, we get there and people make us move, the police and the safety people who were there and making a safety perimeter. They told us to move away, keep going away from the city center, and then that's how we saw that we have this direct view to the cathedral, and we saw that this part were missing. It's just like from here, there were no the end, and the most difficult part to accept is that we have been living in Christchurch for a few months, and we haven't been visiting this cathedral. We were always thinking that okay, we spend the weekend just hanging out in Christchurch, going on the beach and enjoying this beautiful day, because we were working in the city center. We didn't want to stay in the city center during the days off, and we say to ourselves, wait, then when we finish working, we spend maybe 2 days visiting everything we had to visit inside the city center, and we didn't have time to do this.
And what's the name of the cathedral?
This Christchurch Cathedral.
Christchurch Cathedral, right. That's the cathedral, how
That's
does
the
it?
cathedral there, which collapsed.
Wow. Did you see, I understand that one of the walls partially collapsed, the wall next to the spire. Did you see that at all?
No, I haven't seen that really. Just haven't been able to stay there. And even when you were working in the streets, people make you move. You couldn't stand to a place. They said just keep moving, go outside, because there's so many people. They try to make a few meeting points for the people who were working in the city. So it was I can't remember the name. It was a park that all the people met there, and another park as well. And we just went to this place, but there were no point for us to stay here because we still have this house where we could meet. So we didn't want to stay there. We just went there to see, and then a few aftershocks happened, and then we said it was safer to come back to this house than staying on the street where there is still a few blocks or few buildings who could collapse, and there was no safe to stay there. So we just decided to come back. So that's why we didn't stop too long.
It must have been, I was thinking that before with Marie-Jeanne, she saw a house collapse right in front of her, completely collapse, and yet she still felt okay to go into the city centre where all the buildings are so much higher and were you guys not worried before you went in there about the danger?
Well, she said it was not a good idea. She didn't want to go there, but because Jan and me were going there, it's like she has no choice than following us. that's pretty not good from us to do that. But she said, I'm not going to stay alone, so I'm going to follow you. And when I really wanted to see what was going on with my restaurant, but when we reached the city center, then we couldn't go into the city center, so we knew that she couldn't go to her restaurant. She said, okay, I want to go back, but then I said, I want to see my restaurant. And then I was surprised that I could reach my street. And then she said, okay, you saw your restaurant, now we have to go back. And then we say with Jan, wait, we want to see all around what's going on. Maybe we can see at the end of this street Cathedral Square. Then that's when we go to the end and we saw the Cathedral Square and we saw the cathedral partly collapsed. And then they keep making the people move and closing the streets. And then we couldn't go back because the streets were closed, so we have to keep moving forward. And so that's how we managed to be on the other side of the city center at the end of Kasha Street. And then we stayed to the, what was this? It's not the National Museum, it's the gallery.
The art gallery?
Yeah, the art gallery. We were at the art gallery and we've been waiting there for a few minutes and talking to a few people. That's where we met Mary Jane's colleagues who said they were in the restaurant when the earthquake happened, and so that's the cathedral collapse just next to the restaurant. And some people were making housekeeping in the hotel as well, which is pretty scary. And then we saw them, and still people say, keep moving, don't stay here, just get out of the city. And then we left.
That can be quite full of as well.